everybody, I am here again with meteorologist Kat Campbell, obviously talking about this big winter storm that we are expecting this weekend. We're getting closer to when it's supposed to arrive, so you guys have a little bit more information on what we're going to get, how much you think we might get, and all of that.
Yes, we're getting more information, we're getting closer. We even have new high-resolution model data in today. I want to encourage you, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel here, and keep up to date on WRAL News Plus. We'll have live updates for you as we get closer to the storm. So here's the latest. A winter storm watch has been issued for Raleigh and much of our viewing area. This is including all of the triangle. It goes into effect Saturday afternoon and will continue all the way through Monday afternoon. Something I want to note about this that I've been getting a lot of questions, if we zoom in on the map, you'll see it a little bit better. Goldsboro, Fayetteville, Clinton, Hoke County, you're not included in the winter storm watch right now, and that is because you're likely to be placed under a winter weather advisory. Gets a little confusing here, but that's a tier lower in severity, and those can't be issued this far out. So just because you're not on the map right now doesn't mean that you're not going to see impactful winter weather this weekend. It may just not be as bad. And then in Mecklenburg County, Virginia, and Northampton counties, you will be placed under this winter storm watch as we get closer. You're getting your info from a different office. Our precipitation types map, Michelle, we updated this. We brought the ice line further north. So this is looking more like an ice storm with less snow in the triangle, and still that potential for mostly snow up toward the Virginia border and our southern counties, especially south of Raleigh. We're definitely looking at more of an icy mix though. So, you know, just that's not anything that anybody wants to hear. It's certainly not what we want to hear here as well, but we've got to warn you about that. And then tomorrow is when we will place our first call map out for totals, ice accrual as well as snow.
Okay, and I did see a couple of people on social media commenting on some of our posts saying, please, we want the snow. I mean, we're getting this big storm. We're talking so much about this. We really want the snow. But as you were saying, you kind of have moved that ice line up just a little bit. And that's really what we're going to see. Do you think that that's going to change much into tomorrow? Is that going to look a lot different tomorrow? Could it?
I do not see the line going further south again. If anything, I think that threat for ice may shift even further north. I think at this stage, when we have this layer of warm air in the middle levels of the atmosphere already pronounced on every single weather model, I've never seen a scenario where that just magically goes away and it turns to all snow. I think it's unlikely. There would have to be a notable shift, and given all of the data we get. We don't just look at the European and the American model. We're looking at many other models. We even have high resolution data coming in now. I don't see this shifting back to an all snowstorm. And we have never called it a snowstorm here at WRAL, and we did that on purpose. Early on, we saw some signatures for that mid-level warming that concerned us, and that's why we were so particular. And I know it's small and niche, and people may not have noticed this, but we've been calling it a winter storm all week. You know this because I coached you behind the scenes, along with everybody else on our team. I would put out notes saying, don't call this a snowstorm, call it a winter storm, and
you were
this
saying
is
that
why.
Very early on in the week, and I even went back to you and asked again the next day. I said, it's not a snowstorm, right? We need to say winter storm, and you said yes.
Thank you for always checking.
Yes.
One thing that's easy. Let's take this, and I just want to show it to you. This is easy. Everybody, uniform, dangerous travel. No matter you see sleet, freezing rain, maybe you're lucky and you get to see some snow at the onset of this event. Avoid travel, especially starting Saturday evening and continuing all throughout the day Sunday, even though there have been some small shifts and we've shifted that snow ice line further north. The travel threats really haven't changed. If anything, the timing has changed a little bit, coming in later in the afternoon and evening Saturday. We'll get to that in a minute, but now's the time. There's no bad weather right now. Prepare early, and that's what we're talking to people about on WRAL News today, is just prepare. Now's the time to go ahead and get ready for this. And, you know, what are we looking at in terms of some of those stories today?
So Eric Miller actually spoke with some DOT officials about how they're preparing. They have been preparing for months just to make sure everything is ready to go. Now, it's not super often that we get storms like this, but when they do come, we want to make sure that we are aware. They have the brine ready to go. They have the salt trucks ready to go. snow just in case. But Kat, you were saying it's going to be dangerous. Everybody should avoid travel if they can. That is just the smart thing to do. It's happening over the weekend, thank goodness. So most people will be home. Most people, some people may have to go to work. We're gonna be here, but that's gonna be very dangerous. So if you do not need to leave the house for any reason, please stay home. DOT is prepared, so you don't have to worry about that. But again, if you don't have to travel, it really is not smart to.
Yes, exactly. And I mean, we're getting prepared for this here at WRAL. I want to show you something kind of cool that's happening, and then we're going to get to the timing of this system. Our weekend winter storm is moving ashore right now on the west coast, still about 2,500 miles away from us. But here's the cool stuff. The Hurricane Hunter plane is actually turning around right now, slightly west of this system. See that yellow line there? That's the path it's taken. What it'll do is it'll form a little triangle, and it's going to go back through the center of the storm, and it's going to keep doing that, flying into this low pressure system many times. And you've heard about us talk about this during tropical storms and hurricanes. Of course, I mean, that's when you expect to see this graphic.
Sure, yeah.
But they gather data that goes into our weather models to get more accurate forecasts, and the lovely folks in the Air Force are out there doing that tonight. They are gathering that data for winter storms. It's a low pressure system, a different type of low pressure system.
Sure.
But they're going to get that data. The odds of 3 inches of snow have gone down a bit today, 10 to 20% in the triangle, a little bit higher still toward the Virginia border. Power outage potential, unfortunately, has increased. Some scattered power outages possible, isolated in our southern counties. Once we nail down the exact ice accrual, which is the accumulation of ice numbers town by town, that's when we're going to get a better feel for really how widespread this could be. But you should prepare for some power outages in the area. The arrival time of this winter storm is trending a little bit later Saturday, moving in throughout the afternoon and into the evening. See the blue? That's in our northern counties. That's where this starts with some snow. And from the triangle point south, it's more of a mix in pink. That mix is highlighted there in pink. As we move on ahead, this is the European model. That ice snow line shifts further north into Virginia Saturday night, and then by Sunday morning we're still looking at more of a mix across our area. The green is rain. There could even be some rain in our southeastern counties, and then this all moves out of here. So at this point, the impact tracker shows travel impacts are likely. Power outages are scattered, snowmen building, sledding. That's a bit more promising close to the Virginia border. I will say, growing up in North Carolina, definitely went sledding in sleet quite a few times.
Possible.
I have built a whole snowman out of sleet before,
Oh, my goodness.
Don't totally discount it with the kiddos, but I think people should prepare for this to be less of a fun event with their families and start really thinking about, do I have the essentials at home if I were to lose power for a couple of days? I went out shopping. We are going to be keeping you up to date with stories all week long on the supplies that you need to gather, how to stay safe, especially with generator safety. That's so important. Any kind of gas heater, portable heater can be dangerous, so we want to keep you safe this week. But now's the time to think through it, go through your head. Will this work if I don't have power? What do I need in my day-to-day? And something totally niche that I thought of earlier, I posted online, coffee. If you can't make coffee, I don't want to wake up and make a campfire coffee all first thing in the morning. I just got cans of coffee. You can get them at the gas station or anything. So just make your life easy, prepare now, and you're going to be good to go this week.
I think that's very, very good advice, very important, and you touched upon the generator safety. That is huge. Carly Haynes was talking tonight about generator safety, what you should do, what you should not do. So on WRAL.com, you can find that. Never bring a generator inside your house. You do not want to do that. A lot of people don't really have generators, so they might say, well, this doesn't apply to me anyway. But just in case, just know generator safety is so important, especially because we do have the potential for a lot of people to lose power over the storm.
Generators are one of the deadliest parts of hurricanes, actually, to put this into perspective. So we want to keep you safe. Thank you so much for joining. We'll be back here tomorrow with updates, and that's when we'll have our first call map for totals for ice or snow.
And remember to like and subscribe. We'll see you guys soon. Thanks, Kat.